Hello everyone. On behalf of the Memmert family, allow me to extend a warm welcome to you. Thank you very much for joining in our webinar. Options and accessories have always been important for customers from electronics, pharmacy, food, biotechnology, cosmetics, chemistry, and more industries. In not a few cases, options and accessories are the decisive factors for customers to choose a Memmert product. Product in the relevant execution to use for customers' specific application. Memmert has most diverse solutions and can configure more than 1 million device variants. Our webinar will give more details and information on the options and accessories. If you have some questions, you can use the chat function. There's Francie from our sales team. She will be very happy to support you. And myself, I'm Andrea. I will be the speaker for our webinar, which will take approximately 35 to 40 minutes. At the end, we will also have a live demonstration, so we also have some details in regard to the options and accessories. Now let's go on with our presentation. Options and accessories. We have this for all of our products, for climate chambers, heating and drying ovens, pass-through ovens, which is a UFTS oven, or our paraffin units, which is called UMPA, for the various kinds of incubators, cooled incubators, regular incubators, CO2 incubators, for vacuum ovens, for water baths, and also for some medical products. That's all in regard to accessories and options, and we will start with the first one, which is really diverse, with manifold possibilities. And this is in regard to entry ports. Entry ports with diameters of 23 millimeter, 38 millimeter, 57 millimeter, 100 millimeter, which can be closed by a flap. These are all available by Memmert. The position of the entry ports can be according to your demands, or we also have some standard positions of entry ports on the right and left sides of the units, also at the rear. Furthermore, we have possibilities to consider entry ports via our M360 team, which are the customized solutions. Here we have even more possibilities, even on top of the unit in the door. So there's a lot of possibilities, rectangle or surround ones. The entry ports are always important in order to have this feed through to put in cables. For example, if you want to do a surveillance in regards to temperature, if you use an additional sensor, or for humidity measurement, for power supplies in regard, for example, if you are going to use a different devices, like for example, shakers. We have these entry ports with moisture tight entry ports, for example, for our climate chambers. These are closed by the silicone stoppers, which we can also see here on the pictures. And we can provide for you also some drawings, and these drawings are all available for our specific products. And on these drawings, there are marked the positions where entry ports are possible. So if there is a request for entry port, please kindly contact us and we will send you the specific drawing for the unit. The picture here also shows a customized solution with an entry port of 80 millimeter. What you can see is here, if the entry port is done on the sides and if it's taller than 23 millimeter, then not all the possibilities for placing in grids or a shelf is possible. However, we can also do, even on the sides, entry ports with larger diameters than 23 millimeter. So this is all in regard to option F0 to F7, D8, and even more. So it's a lot and various possibilities. Let's go on to the next one. Next one also, there is numerous possibilities that is in regard to grids and shelves. The grids and shelves, they are placed in our unit, and we have here a standard, the grid in electro-polished, There you can place on the samples, and we have here the loading of maximum 20 kilogram. They are put in the deep drawn rib. There is from the bottom part approximately 60 millimeter, and then there's a distance of 80 millimeter to place in additional grids and shelf. Please kindly consider in the standard delivery execution, there are always included one grid, that's for example for the sizes 30 and 55, or two grids for the taller sizes. Additional grids are available as option, and we have here, for example, when we consider the very common model size 750, the possibility to place in up to 14 grids. The grids are now having the advantage that you have a very good uniformity in the interior because the air can pass through the different bars. Please, however, kindly take note that it is also belonging to the position of the samples. So if you place in samples, please always leave a little bit distance in between. Instead of the grids, we also have shelves. Shelves also, which means this is in order to place in samples which are very small, where you need really a very even service, and which are also very stable. The picture here on the right side, on the left side, shows the perforated shelf for our CO2 incubators. And here we have in standard for the Eco 50 one shelf for the size 105. We have here two for size 150, 240, also two. And we can add additional shelves here also in CO2 incubators. Smallest size maximum is 5 numbers of shelves, which could be included for size 105, 6, for 150, 10, and 240. We can place in 12 of these shelves. Additionally, to the grids and shelves we have here with a capacity of approximately 20 kilogram, we have possibilities for reinforced grids. This is in order to place on samples which are heavier, and here we can go up to 60 kilograms. Yeah, let's go on to the next file. Let's have also a look to the thermoshelf of our vacuum oven. When we consider the thermoshelf of the vacuum, there's outstanding that we have the sensor directly placed on the shelf, because each shelf is going to be controlled individually, and furthermore also protection is on each shelf. We have here the heating all over the shelf, and it's a direct heating, so that means we heat up the shelf in order to transport the heat to the samples, which is for a fast heating up and for very good uniformity. We have here an aluminium oxidized shelf according to ASTM B209. This is for fast heating up and most precise uniformity. Also, we have possibility to go for stainless steel shelf, that is ASTM 316L, and that is specially for corrosive material. Whenever you go for the shelf of the vacuum oven, there comes along a works calibration certificate, and that is measured at 160 degrees and 20 millibar. And please kind of take note, if in standard it comes with one of the shelves, then there will be one calibration certificate included. If you go for additionally shelves, then there will also be issued additional calibration certificates. So in standard for size 29, we have one shelf. In standard for size 49 and 101, we have two shelves, and with a premium model, we can add additional shelves. And that is also important if your customer wants to operate with more shelves, that this will have to be fixed already when an order is going to be placed, because we put in additional sockets in the interior for placing in the shelves. So this cannot be done afterwards. Yeah, let's go on to the next one. This is also important because nowadays, when we look to the laboratory, there is always not enough space available. So here we have possibility for stacking units, which means we put one unit on top of another one. And here we have the picture which shows the stacking corners. This means that on the device, which is placed on the lower part, we adjust these 4 stacking corners, and then an additional device in the same size can be put on top of it. That is possible up to the size 110. We have also special stacking sets for our HCP and ICOMAT units. Here we have these stacking corners along with connecting plate and 2 adjustable wall brackets on the rear panel. We can also see here the picture very nicely, which shows the CO2 incubators which are placed on top of each other. The picture shows here also the ECO 240. For this unit, we also go for a subframe. So here a subframe is additionally requested when we do the stacking of these units. The subframe has a height of 130 millimeter, and besides the subframe, which you can see on the picture, we also have a subframe with casters, and that has a height of 120 millimeter. So here we have then the order numbers B33509 for subframe in a height of 130, or B43598 for the subframe on casters. Let's go on to the next one, and let's have a look more to the different and various subframes available from our side. We have these subframes which are black coated. Here we have the ones which are on casters. These have a height of 660 millimeter for the units from size 30 to 75, or the height of 560 if it goes from 110 to 160. This subframe is also available with adjusting in height. Then we have this in also the same sizes, and then the height is 600 millimeter when it's from 30 to 75, or it is 500 millimeter from size 110. The picture here shows also the subframe, which is adjustable in a height of 130 millimeter. Besides this subframe, we have also a castor frame, which would be 2 kind of bars with castors, which will be placed below the unit. This is also available up to the size 260. And of course, we have a lot of customized subframes. So for example, also if you request one which should be done completely in stainless steel, is also possible then by our M360 team. Let's go further. Reinforced chamber. This is now requested if the customer wants to operate and has samples which are very heavy. So if we have very heavy samples, then we go for reinforced grids and shelves, and then we also go for the reinforced chamber, and this is called K1. This is available for our units with 2 leaves, which means size 450 and 750, for example, incubator and oven. Here we have then the shelves or the grids with a maximum loading of 60 kilogram. Also for devices of HPP Echo, ICH Echo, ICP, ICP Echo, IPP Echo, IPP Echo Plus, this is possible, however, not for medical devices. The picture here shows the bearing rails which are mounted in the working chamber, and this means now the grids are not placed in by the deep drawn ribs, but here on these bearing rails, because here we have heavier for heavier loading, which also means these grids and shelves placed in are a little bit smaller in width compared to our regular grids and shelves. The size 1060 actually has already these conditions. Let's go further to the next one. Now we come to the safety features, and safety features have now the possibility to avoid the opening of the door by unaroused person. So we all know that in laboratories there could be more people, and to avoiding that anybody is opening the door, which would then influence the process and the procedure, cannot be done. We have, for example, the door lock with lock and key, which is B6. That is in order to lock the door. That is available for all the devices. Or we can also go for the process-dependent programmable door lock. This is available for our twin class models. Here we can use the Atmo control software, and on the Atmo control software, if the unit is equipped with the electrical door locking, there will appear the symbols of the padlock. And you can then set this padlock within your process on specific stages. And whenever it's set, it means if the process is starting at this specific point, the door is locked. And whenever you have then placed the unlocking, then the door can be opened. But for the full process, running the process, you cannot open the door. It is also possible, if you are not using the Atmo control software, then it is in regard to the timer function on the display. And that means whenever you start the timer function, for example, you set 50 minutes and then it starts, it counts downwards. Whenever it starts, then the door is locked. And only after the process of, for example, this 50 minutes, the door can then be opened. Let's go further. For surveillance purposes, we have possibility to place in additional flexible PT100 sensors in order to measure directly at the surface of the samples. So in our standard units, we have for some single units one sensor included that is put in the best position for controlling the temperature in the interior. And here, additionally, for our twin class models, which already have two sensors for temperature measure and over temperature protection, we have this flexible sensor, which is also PT100 sensor, which we can see here on the picture. This flexible PT100 sensor measuring then the temperature are also recording the actual temperature. That is then also visible on the controller under, for example, here T2. And that means here we have additionally to the actual temperature also the actual temperature of the flexible sensor with 22.7. So that is to record, to see then the temperature, but it's not for controlling the temperature. Also, it will be recorded in the log file and also in the memory, so it's also a storage of the data. This was in regard to a flexible sensor. So for the single class, I also would like to mention here one specialty. The single class unit could also be equipped with an additional sensor, and this sensor is then in order to take care of the over temperature protection, and then it means a single class unit which normally has one sensor in the interior will have two sensors placed in. Let's go on to the next one. Let's go and have more details in regards to interior light and socket. The interior light is always on when the unit is switched on. If you switch off the unit, then the light is off. So it's a very simple light in order to observe the load. We also have possibility for sockets, and that is an interior socket in the unit. This supplies 230 volts. Here, for example, it's going to be used in order to operate with a shaker. This can be done for devices, oven incubators, IPP Echo, IPP Echo Plus, HPP Echo ICH, ICH Echo, and ICP, ICP Echo. Please kindly take note that whenever the unit is equipped with this interior socket, the temperature range has to be reduced, and then we have a maximum temperature of 60 degrees. And that means we also have then to go for the option H8, which is a temperature restriction. We can do one socket in a standard, and for our customized solution team, we can even include several sockets in the interior. These sockets are the European standard. Other, let's say, sockets will have then also to be clarified with M360 team. Let's go on to the next one. We are now in the almost gas-tight chamber and gas inlet option, and this is widely used in electronics, for silicon rubber, semiconductors, in order to avoid chemical reactions, in order to avoid that the product is going to be destroyed. Mostly it's also used for the purge with nitrogen, which is also for cleaning purposes, for example. Here we have a chamber, and this is built and welded almost completely hermetical and almost gas tight. This means this is nearly gas tight and will not have the opening, which is normally in the bottom, to put in fresh air, and it also will not have a flap at the rear. So it's almost tightly. And then we have this possibility for gas inlet and outlet through two ball valves. There is this ball valve on the right side, on the upper right side, for the entrance of the gas. And here we have a maximum connection of the pressure of 0.5 bar. And then on the left side, which is on the lower position, the gas goes out. If you want to run the unit with these gases, please kindly take note. It's important to avoid the overpressure, that you first open the ball valve for the outlet before you open then the valve for the gas entering the chamber. Yeah, we have here the working in an almost hermetical environment, both to prevent the vapors from damaging electronic part and to avoid gas dispersion, insertion of inner gas to work in an inert atmosphere to prevent or control small possible compositions. So it's K2 or K3 option. Next one. Potential free contacts, floating switch contacts. These are simple relays switching on and switching off. Depending which contacts are closed, we can create error messages. And this is H6 option for combination error messages. So if the contact 2 and 3 is closed, there occurs an error. And this is in regard to loss voltage or over temperature, under temperature if it's twin glass model, humidity alarm, mechanical temperature limiter, or fan speed in case unit is equipped with this accessory, and error sensor PT. This is a 3-pole connector, and this connector is mounted at the rear of the device. And here you can then also connect external monitoring systems, or you can also use it for volt-free contact to switch on external devices. Besides this H6, we also have freely programmable switching contacts, and here we have up to 4 floating switches for plus units, or floating switches also 2 for single units. And this is then program dependent. That is then in regard to the Atmo control software for our twin model types. Let's go on to the next one. This is now in regard to the mobile alert function. Mobile alert function, we have here C3 and C4. Series 3 is in combination with the H6 contact, which is for the combined error messages. And that means that there will be sent an alarm via SMS on the cell phone. So we have this mobile alert box along with the antenna. Then we have the cable for the connection to the unit, and then we is requested a SIM card, and then whenever there will be triggered an alarm, the alarm will be forwarded to the specific device. That is for UES, which is always oven incubator sterilizers, ICP, ICP Echo, IPP Echo, IPP Echo Plus, HPP Echo, ICH, ICH Echo, CDT, TC possible. So Appliance provides the potential free switching output that triggers then the mobile alert box. Besides this 3.3, we also have the C4. And here we have the possibility that the alarm will be indicated. So for C3, if you get an alarm on your mobile phone, you will not recognize which alarm has been triggered. You will just see there's an error. If you go for C4, there is indication which alarm is going to be triggered. So we have here on the unit separate potential free switching outputs, and this triggers the mobile box for each parameter. For example, we have here the output in regard to temperature humidity, which refers then to a humidity chamber. And here we can see we have here an out1 and an out2. Out1 is in regard to switching contact, the SMS message whenever maximum value of temperature is exceeded or minimum value of temperature is not reached, or automatic ATM tolerance band is not correct and gives an alarm, or mechanical temperature limiter triggered, or even the temperature sensor is defect. So out2 is here when maximum value of humidity is exceeded, if the minimum values are not reached, or also humidity sensor is defect. We have this potential free switching output also for vacuum oven. Here we have then the temperature and pressure for giving the alarms. And furthermore, we have here possibility for the ICO. And ICO means, for example, here there would be then depending on the accessory of the CO2 incubator, for example, if it's equipped with the T6 option, which refers to the oxygen supply, then we have here also the outlets 3 and 4, which refers to oxygen error messages and O2 error messages, and along then also this output in regard to the temperature and humidity. So that means at the rear of the unit, there would then be installed these two potential free switching outputs. Let's go on to the next option. This option is now in regard to the 4 milliampere current loop interface. This is a dominant standard in many industries. It is a very simple option to connect and to configure. It is for long, stable runs, and it offers increased immunity to both electrical interference and signal loss. So with this option, it will be possible to translate the information in a common spoken language in the laboratory, and this will allow the communication between different kind of equipments. So for this current loop interface, we have here V3, V7, 9, and 1. And this refers, for example, to 420 milliampere in regard to the temperature controller. And this means if we consider here an incubator, we have temperature from 0 to 70 degrees. That refers then that the 0 degrees is the signal for 4 milliampere, and the 70 degrees is, for example, for 20 milliampere. If we consider here the assignment, then it refers also to the humidity controller. Here we have from 0 to 100%. And here, for example, it is possible for the HCP. So 4 milliampere is 0% RH. 12 milliampere is then 50% RH, and 20 milliampere is then 100% RH. More details about this information regarding which milliampere refers to which temperature is also included in our operation instructions. So for IN/IF, 4 milliampere 0 degrees, 12 milliampere 45, 20 milliampere 90 degrees. So depending on the specific unit, we have here the possibility for the current loop interfaces. V9 refers to CO2 controller, actual value 0 to 25%, which is 4 to 20 milliampere, or for the O2 controller, here we have also 4 to 20 milliampere possibility. Let's go on to the next file. This is in regard to the glass door. Full-side glass doors with 4-layer insulating, B0, that is for temperatures up to 250 degrees. That is also requesting then a 6 option, and this means that we also have to reduce temperature, and we go for B0 along with A6. Or if it goes up to 300 degrees, there's also a full-side glass door available, and that is option B3. For the units with the pass-through ones, we also have B0, that is up to maximum temperature of 250 degrees. Even for CDC unit, we can do a glass door that is then a 5-layer insulating glazing, which is going to be heated up. Yeah, so we can do this for oven, paraffin, CDC, TDC, and UFTS. Let's go on to the next one. Also, for safety reasons, we have the door open recognition, which refers to the option V5. That makes sure that whenever the door has been opened, that there is a recording so that you will know that the door had been opened. It is available for the twin class units and for devices, for example, HPP Echo, ICH, ICH Echo, ICP, ICP Echo, IPP Echo Plus, UFTS, UNPA, and it is a standard for ICHL, ICHL Echo, HCP Echo, ICOMET, and IFBV. This leads to the following actions. So if we have ovens, it will shut down the heating element when the door is open. If we have here also units with blowers, and the blower is switched off. If it's for humidity units, then also it deactivates humidity control, so there will not come humidity in the chamber anymore. For the ICHL, ICHL Echo, where this is also standard execution, it also means that the light is going to be switched off whenever the door is open. For ICO, ICOMET, it deactivates gas supply, CO2 and N2. And ICP, ICP Echo, IPP Echo, IPP Echo Plus, no further action on the device. We can even see on the display of the unit next to the temperature the indication when the door is open, so it's a small symbol. Otherwise, it is also an entry in the protocol file, so you will see that the door has been opened. And why is this important? This is important when we open the door. You all know there's influence on the interior condition, so that can drop temperatures, that can drop humidity. So all this is going to be recorded. Let's go on to the next one. Now we come to the filtration of fresh air before it's going to be entering the interior of the chamber. Now we have the filtration efficiency, and we have here a fresh air filter with efficiency of 80%. This is according to the filter class G3 and is mounted at the device button. This is for devices with forced air circulation size 30 to 60, and this requests also a subframe. So that is a subframe, or also the caster frame, which is the 2 parts with a height of 140 millimeter with casters. That is in order to enter clean air in the unit for devices oven and incubators, and depending on the use of the device, the filter will have to be replaced. And that is actually very easy. It's just adjusted by some screw. Yeah, let's go on to the next one. This refers to plug-in tube extensions. Here we have accessories called B29718 and B29719. Here we have these plug-in tube extensions. These are the extensions which are going to be adjusted at the rear at the unit directly at the air flap. And this is in order to lead out dangerous gases or fumes from the chamber outside the laboratory. That means is for evacuation purposes. And we have here these tubing which is straight, which has a length of approximately 88 millimeter, or the one which is angled, that is approximately 370 or 400 millimeter. And besides these plug-in tube extensions, you can also adjust here the Aluflex tubing. So that is all in order to take out dangerous gases. Let's go on to the next one. This is centralized water supply system. When we operate with our humidity chambers and you have several units in the laboratory and you're afraid that the refilling is not going to be taken care of in a very good way, then we can go ahead for the centralized water supply system. This means that you never have to think of refilling water, because this is a direct device connected to the water tape. And that means that in this tank, in which the water is going to be filtered or not filtered, because we can do it with filtration, there will be always enough water in order that our devices can get the water and pull out the water from this tank. So by this centralized water supply system, we can add 3 devices, like for example, HPP, ECHO, HCP, and ICH and ICH ECHO, and that is for continuous operation with the water supply without refilling. There is a measurement system for pH value to indicate the placement of used filters in case you're going to use the system with filters. And then there comes also a signal, and then you will know that you have to change the filter. Yeah, that was water supply for interruption-free operation with humidity, which is a very useful and a very good application if you operate with humidity and if you don't want to refill the water in the water tank, which is included in standard accessory. And let's go now on to the next one, which is a HEPA filter. Now we are in the range of the CO2 incubators. The CO2 incubators, they can be equipped with a HEPA filter, that is for the interior filtration. HEPA filter 14, according to EN 1822, which is packed in a sterile condition, including a fixing unit that is a high efficiency particulate air filter, and theoretically it can remove at least 99.97% of dust, pollen, mold, bacteria, and airborne particles with a size of 0.3 microns. It is very easy for installation because the fixing is very easy. So in the interior where there's blowers, there's a small screw, and you can just here adjust this HEPA interior filter. The filter is possible to be used up to 50 degrees. So as we know, our CO2 incubators has also a very special feature, also the hot air sterilization function, which means it heats up automatically to 160 degrees and holds for hours whenever the hot air sterilization has been activated. Please kindly take out the HEPA filter and go then, after the sterilization process has been finished, to use a new HEPA filter in the interior. So HEPA filter for removing and for the interior of our CO2 incubator. Not to forget, in a standard of our CO2 incubator, we have also sterile filters before CO2 enters the chamber, that is in the electronic housing. This was in regard to our presentation, and now let's go on to our live demonstration. Live demonstration, we have here an HPP Echo, and we can have here a look in the interior. And the interior chamber now shows our sockets. So this unit is equipped with a total of 3 sockets in the rear. That is in order to connect, for example, shaker in the interior. This socket, as an option, we have 1. This is now here a customized solution from our M360 team. So we could put in 3 sockets, European standard. Furthermore, we have here entry port that is closed by the silicone rubber, and we can also have a look outside on the sides of the unit. For this reason, I will turn this around and we'll have a look to the unit. And here we can see the entry port, which can be opened by the air flap. That is in order to put in cables, for example, to have the surveillance purposes, for example, for temperature or for humidity. Yeah, let's have a look to the second unit here, which is also our standard Eco product. We switch on the unit, and here we have the possibility to have a look on the grids and shelf setting. And this is HPP 410. Let's go in the menu. Let's go under the setup. And here under the setup, you have here the setting in regard to slide in unit, grid or shelf. Depending if you have ordered a grid or a shelf, there will be done the calibration in our production at the final test field, because this is in regard to the correct setting on the unit, give influence on the uniformity. So based on this execution, if it's grids or if it's shelf, we're also going to issue the calibration certificate doing the final calibration of our products. And in case you order afterwards, for example, the customer has used shelves and afterwards customer would like to go for grids, please kindly take note that then this will have to be adjusted in regards to grids, but not just adjustment, also a recalibration would then be necessary. So this is possible for all our products, for the setting, for grids or for shelves. Yeah, this was a very short live demonstration in regards to our products. I hope that you could get some new impressions in regard all to the different options and accessories available by Memmert. You can imagine we have even much more accessories and options. You will find all these details also in our brochures or even more in our M360 team for customized solutions. If you have some questions, if you request for further details, please kindly do not hesitate to let us know. Otherwise, I would like to thank you very much for joining in our webinar. I would like to wish you a very nice day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you soon. Goodbye from the company Memmert. Goodbye from Germany. Bye-bye.